Hi, I'm Alyssa and today I'm going to read to you from my book The Alice Wonders, which I recently published. And I'm doing the reading as part of the Austrian Reading Day, which is an initiative to help kids learn and motivate them to read themselves. All right, let's do this. I chose the chapter Growth. You'll see here. And growth actually comes from the Old English and stands for getting bigger. In the beginning of each chapter there is a quote from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And when it comes to growth, let's see what they have to say. Round the neck of the bottle was a paper label with the words, "Drink me," beautifully printed on it in large letters. This bottle was not marked poison, so Alice ventured to taste it, and finding it very nice. It had in fact a sort of mixed flavor of cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast. She very soon finished it off. "What a curious feeling," said Alice. "I must be shutting up like a telescope." Ooh. And so it was indeed. She was now only 10 inches high, and her face brightened up at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door into the lovely garden. Then, next is the key with the key vocabulary for this chapter, because there are some difficult words in there. All right, first, the telescope. A telescope looks a bit like 3 or more pipes have been stuck into each other. It can be stretched or folded up, and when you look through it, while it's unfolded, you can see far away things at a much larger size than they are. This handy tool includes lenses and mirrors that are positioned to magnify or enlarge what you're looking at. Now we get into the really tricky part. Genes. Genes are bits of information, like features and characteristics, that you got from your parents. They decide the color of your eyes and the shape of your nose, for example. Proteins. Proteins are made up of chains of many small chunks called amino acids. I hope my pronunciation is correct. Above all, proteins give structure to all kinds of things a body needs to do. They also make sure that parts of your body function well. For example, that your heart beats at the right speed. An inch, which was part of the quote, is a unit to measure length. It's mostly used in the US, United States of America, and the UK, the United Kingdom, but it's also common in information technology. Everywhere else, centimeters are more popular. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And last but not least, organs. Organs are a group of tissues or a bunch of similar cells coupled into a structure. They are in charge of a task in an organism, like your body. Your heart, brain, and skin are all separate organs. All right, that's just part of the introduction. And here we go. It's indeed a wonderful change that Alice grows small and big. The question is, what actually happens inside of us during growth? When we grow, the little parts of which our bodies are made, called cells, either part into more cells or get larger, which is called mitosis. You see, these guys are doing mitosis. They are the basic building blocks of life and the smallest living pieces that exist. In fact, we have billions of them inside of us, and everything that is alive has at least one cell. Some cells work alone, but others need a body cell so that they can function. To do all the work of growing, cells need to take in nutrients, which is their food, and turn them into energy. Robert Hooke was a British scientist, artist, and architect. He was an all-rounder with many interests and the person that first discovered cells. He spotted them while looking at cork with a special lit-up microscope. To him, they were tiny, microscopic honeycomb chambers. It's a bit of a tongue twister there. In 1665, Robert published his findings in the book Micrographia. I'd love to read that. Which became famous. Only around 200 years later, other scientists found out that cells are critical components of living objects. So not just humans. Did you know that? All right. So what is it that makes a cell alive? It's actually a couple of things. First, cells have a fatty, oily coating with proteins called cell membranes that keep the inside stuff from becoming messy outside stuff. Very important. Then there must be at least one chromosome as well. This is a licorice-like twisty string with genetic information. Finally, liquid cytoplasm does the magic of all life processes. Whew, that's a lot of big words. But think about it this way. When you eat a big meal, you feed your cells to make more or bigger cells. And because our bodies are huge bunches of cells, you either grow upwards or sideways. Still, how fast, tall, or big you grow depends on a couple of other things. First and foremost, there are genes from both of your parents inside of you. They are based on chromosomes. How you will look when you turn into an adult is very much up to them. Will you be short? Will you be skinny? Will you have dark hair? Look at your mom and dad and you can make a pretty good guess on what you will look like when you are their ages. You are basically a blend of them. Hopefully all the cool stuff. Hormones play a big role in who we are as well. They are little messengers your cells make throughout your whole life. Imagine tiny postmen in our bodies that carry commands that tell organs, sorry for that, what to do and what not to do. So hormones play a role in there with the commands, you know. It also makes a difference if you are a boy or a girl, especially when you are a teenager. There is a time called puberty when your body changes a lot. That's when your hormones are actually having a really big party. Boys and girls develop different general features during puberty. For example, boys grow a pokey bump on the front of their necks called the Adam's apple. It is what makes most men's voices deeper than the voices of most women. Oh, and unfortunately we can't grow smaller. Really sorry for that. I wish I could sometimes. The only exception is when we get very old because our cells are not that active anymore. So there happens like a little bit of shrinking happens there. And then each chapter actually has an experiment which you can identify whenever you see the keyhole. I'm gonna read this one to you so you can do it at home. For this experiment, you'll need a spring onion. First, look at it carefully and find out where its roots are. There are little strings surrounded by a hard, bumpy circle, and that's where onions take in water and minerals as their food. Now, grab a jar that fits the onion and add a bit of water. You'll need just enough so the roots dip into it, maybe around half a fingertip deep. Put the spring onion inside with its roots down and watch it grow. This will take a few days, so you gotta be patient. Make sure you add a tiny bit of water every day when the onion has soaked. When it's soaked all of it up. If it turns a bit smelly, because it happens, just clear out the old water and start fresh. After a couple days, you'll see how the spring onion grows a plant. By giving it liquid, you're feeding its cells to split and grow. So there you can see growth in parts. If you want to see it shrink, you can make the reverse test. Stop watering after you made it grow first. You'll see how our friend, the spring onion, stops to grow, dries out, and kind of shrinks over time. It actually ages, but with shrinking as a side effect. Voila! Thank you so much for listening, and I'm hoping you liked it. Leave me comments, let me know how you liked it, and if you have any questions, let me know, and hope to speak to you soon. Bye!